No, I think this is. I also think, by the way, that's also something cool for anyone's legend. It's one thing to win the LPL, bro. You won it over like fucking Bin Knights. Like these are the goats, mate. These are the players that are considered the best ever in their role. And right now, this is their era. Like I say, for them, yeah, sure, for them, they've won so many times. It's like, right, come back next split or whatever. But this is a big statement to win in this way. Because I also think if you'd have been Tarzan or Tarbit and you finally win, but then you win over like fucking WE or something, like, who gives a shit at that point? Then it'd be like, nah, it's just because you didn't play the good team. Bro, they beat BLG twice in 2 BO5s. Like, that is legit as fuck. It doesn't get much more legit than that. And I want your thoughts, and I did it before. What about if this team goes to MSI? Because I have to say, I'm not doing it because they're not called TES, but I don't actually have the same fear I did for TES when TES actually looked like the best team, contended with them for most of the split. The difference is, I can't know how Shax will play. That's the biggest question mark complete for me. Look, I know how Flandre plays. I've seen him play many, many times. I don't think that's a player that's going to like shit the bed. Tarzan will be interesting because obviously he has had all those international underperformances, but I feel like first of all, he wasn't at the MSIs, mate. He's got the double elim factor too now. Everything's a BO5. Very good chance now. You're not just playing some randy little BO3 or BO1 that you can look bad in. I want to know, what do you think? Can they win MSI? Can anyone's legend win the MSI?
I think now in an era of fearless and double elimination, I think the double elimination works against them because they are the underdog. I think just double elimination just works against you because of that. I think there's opportunities to out-prep teams because I do think like Genji gave opportunities in the How Alive series. I think a big criticism towards them throughout the best of threes was like, oh, what is this draft? They're going to win anyway. They're Genji. And that eventually catches up to you. I do think on the prep front, it's like that's such a trend we saw in winter for all the winners. We saw it for all the winners in spring too, whether it was T1 or of course like anyone's legend. It's like if they come into a series and like especially now with Fearless, it can branch off into certain areas. And if it branches off into an area where you have more expertise, I think that anyone's legend as a team in certain specific scenarios can be like beating teams. And I think Fearless just offers enough chaos that you can create opportunities through prep. I think that the underdog, I don't even know how I would view a series between T1 and AL due to the context of the players. I think it's hard for me to imagine anyone's legend beating T1 in a BO5. Like it's hard because of the context of T1. But at the same time, if I just look at in-game and the gameplay, I do think it's possible. But the caliber of experience that you carry just matters so much. And I just wonder how anyone's legend as a team mentally are going to just land. But in the end, once again, Tabe as a coach, you know, Billy walked into that MSI twice. The first time when they went with Tabe, of course, they managed to beat Genji and T1 when they came into that tournament looking quite fucking strong. And I think it's entirely possible. I don't agree with the narrative that the community has that the LPL is just bad, because I do think every region on paper looks competitively worse due to the fact that Fearless is there. Because there was a big conversation about how, LCK looks a lot better. But LCK last year, it's like that spring finals between T1 and Genji was probably the greatest LCK finals ever, unless I'm forgetting something in the past, of course, with like OGN or whatever. But I'm talking LCK strictly in the new era of League. That was like T1 and Genji walking into MSI. They look like absolute demons. LCK, it's up and down in terms of the performance. And I think the same thing for the LPL. And I think the biggest pain point for the LPL is that the flagship team in Bilibili is just not as good as they were last year. And I think on the other side of LCK, Genji actually managed to find ways to improve the roster in an absurd, fucked up way by, just bringing Ruler back. And Duro happening to be super, super good. So in that context, I do think LPL is coming into this tournament with something to bring, similar to previous years. I think LCK comes in as favorite, but LPL shouldn't be underestimated. Exactly the same as the other years. I don't think this is too different.
I actually think it would have been worse for the LPL if I'm judging how they do if BLG had somehow won this final. Because for me, BLG had, even when they're at the absolute peak, they split. They're like 90% of what they were last year. They're just not the same team that could have won Worlds. They were really like that far from winning. So for me, I actually think it's really positive that anyone's edging. If people forget, in the whole split, the two teams that were in the race for number one was TES and Anyone's Legend. And it's mainly because TES won head-to-head. It felt like they were the better team. And they had the names. Everyone knows all those names. But we were all scared if they go international, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to let you down as usual? Simple. Like, certainly, I'm still reserved on the Tarzan angle. I have to see him do it. I've had the faith already, mate. I've had the faith so many times. I've got to see it actually happen. But I tell you what, I don't think it's implausible now. Like I say, I do think winning does change things completely. The Shanks one is really exciting. Like, I could see a world where Shanks comes to this tournament and it's like fucking KC going to first stand. Like, actually, they don't just completely fail. Like, they get the shit together. They have really good games. They show out. You have pop-offs. Like, if that happens, then all of a sudden, as you say, the real series you want to see is Anyone's Legend T1. That's going to be the test. Because T1 also isn't like the number one team in the world, but they've just got all those intangibles, haven't they? And all the like clutch factor and experience. I would just love to see that series. Also, I would just love to see, if you want to see Tarzan play against someone spicy, give him Owner. Mate, Owner's been unbelievable this year. Give him this Owner. The joke of T1 is this might be the best year Owner's had, mate. I think he's actually smurfed this year. It's just the team wasn't as good. It just shows how funny people's careers are when you peak and when you don't. So, yeah, it's certainly fun. Whereas for BLG, here's why it's fun they still go. Look, I don't think they even should have a crack at the final. But I'll tell you what, if you want to punch his chance, mate, pop at Knight on an Ari, give a Jax to Bin, get Elk on the fucking Kaiser, give on an Engage champ. They can make the fucking game spicy. They can at least make it fun. Like, by the way, the obvious one I'd like to see now with both teams in deplete form is actually BLGT1. Now, that would be a fucking fun series. It might be messy as fuck, but I'll tell you what, both those teams, like, that's not the fight where people are going like, we'll turn down this dragon. That's just a fucking bloodbath till the end. You know what I mean? Like, that's the series I want to see, mate. Might end up being like for third or fourth place or something, but that could be a banger series.
We are eating good for this MSI. Like, you know, in a world where formats are plaguing us and we have so much pain, God bless that MSI changed, because if we were sitting here with the previous format, it would be depressing. It would be so sad. You know, single elimination, silly group stage, it doesn't matter.
Silly shit, yeah. No, I always tell people, I don't care what anyone says. MSI is the best tournament in League of Legends. It's amazing. Like, every year I look forward to it because that format, it just delivers, mate. It's almost impossible for it to be bad. Essentially, unless the teams just all play like shit. The format itself is just so strong. It makes the narratives, it's so good. Even that one you were talking about a couple of years ago, that's now, the joke is, BLG, by the way, got beaten by JDG both times, but we all remember them knocking out the Korean teams. That was dope in the lower bracket. They took fucking T1 and Chovy Zenji were like, you just watch us play the fucking, the finals, the LPL, dickhead. It's a rerun. There you go. Enjoy, sit back, enjoy your soda, and wait for Worlds Korea. No, I think it's cool. And you are right if you think historically. Aside from that Gen G one last year, mate, the MSI largely is a fucking LPL tournament in the same way as Korea wins all the worlds. Mate, LPL's record at MSI is unbelievable. I mean, even the years when they're not as good, like last year, BLG was still in the final. I know everyone deletes that from their brain, all the T1 glazers. BLG beat you twice, mate. What are you talking about? Like, they all got. That's why what they do last year is they only focus on fucking top esports, don't they? Like, but look at top in the below bracket. No, you little rat. How about look at the fucking top two teams? Exactly, fuck you. Anyway. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.